I'm going to have my little farmer's hat on now. I'm going to be like in the garden. You're going to be like, Whitney, you're actually in the garden? My dad called me like farmer grandma or something, because when I go fishing up in a million, I always have like
your grandma hat.
Yeah, the grandma hat, because spray the bug spray on the hat brim so it don't come like attacking your eyes and ears. Right. And then I always wear overalls because I don't want my good clothes getting fish guts and fish scales and worm guts on them. Wait, I guess do worms have guts? No, I don't think worms have guts.
No, they don't. I don't know. I don't actually want to think about that.
Sorry. My bad.
I'm like, worms are nasty.
Yeah, but I look super duper country whenever I go fishing.
I mean, they taught you well, right?
Indeed.
Family.
Mm-hmm. We are a fishing family. We're super country. Well, no. We're partly super country. Part half of us are super country. The other half is a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll.
I was gonna say ratchet, but it's
no. I'm talking about my like immediate family, and then like extensive from the immediate family, like my brothers, wife and kids. Because it's like Eli is quite the fisherman. He has gotten a very nice cast because he practices. My dad had to get his fishing line out of the trees at their house.
That's funny.
And he was using my my new, well, not new. My friend Julian gave it to me for my birthday 2 or 3 years ago. And it's a different type of reel. So most reels, you push a button as you cast.
Right.
So it's pretty easy. But this one is one where you got the little thing. You have to flip it over as you cast. So you have to kind of hold the rod with like 2 fingers. And then hold like the line with the other finger. And flip it over so it's ready to go. And then as you cast, you let go of the line. So it's a little bit more complicated to me.
I was like, that sounds complicated.
Yeah, but I showed my oldest nephew. I showed Peanut.
He got it
because he wanted to know. He was like, "Can I cast yours?" I'm like, "I think it's a little complicated." And I yelled to the other side of the pond. I was like, "Dad, Monkey, do you think it's okay?" They're like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then when I was done showing him how, I was like, "So you want to cast it down?" He was like, "No."
He was always like, "Nah, I'm good."
He's good. But then, like when we were about to go, Eli, the youngest one, he's like, I want to cast it. I was like, well, but you don't know how to cast. He was like, yeah, I saw you when you were showing. I was like, oh, well, show me. And daggone it, if that kid,
he did it, didn't he?
I was like, daggone Eli. And then Peanut was like, how did he know after only one time? I was like, 'cause he's smart.
Smart little kid.
Yeah. It's so crazy, kids now. Like, I don't feel like I was as smart at that age.
Right.
What's up, you guys?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
It's your Blur Girls.
It's Triple F Queen Bola.
No tagline Whit here.
And we are BlerdTalk with Bola and Whitney.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? Happy July. We're in the middle of summer. It's awesome and it's hot.
Cool summer.
Oh, okay.
Seeing me here on my own. It's a cool summer.
I think it's cruel summer.
Oh, damn.
I was like, that was the whole point. She's talking about how the guy left her and it's summer, but it's kind of cool. Now you're
gone. Okay, well, let's pretend, everyone, that I actually said cruel instead of cool.
A hot mess with me. A hot mess.
My bad. Pretend I had like a major lisp on that and I was actually saying cruel.
How are everybody doing today? What's going on? How are you doing, Whitney?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, we just had you guys are hearing us in July, but we're in the past currently.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all are hearing us back to the future. Back. But we had a really great little girls' escapade yesterday. I would start singing Janet Jackson's Escapade, but I can't think of the lyrics right now.
It was really fun.
It was. I thought you were going to help with the lyrics, but that's okay.
Oh, my bad. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, what song is that?
You
know I don't know song names.
Oh, yeah.
As Shalik will let everybody know. Black people don't know song names. Once we hear, we're like, oh, yeah, that's my jam. What's the name of it? Don't ask me that. That's why I was like bad at Singo, because when I was playing, I talked about it last month, y'all. But when I was playing Singo, I was like, I have a big catalog of songs. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of songs. I might not know who sings them all, especially if they're older. But I'm like, come on, Eileen. I know that song, but don't ask me who sings it. It's like stuff like that. But I realized that I didn't know how songs started. So I only know the choruses of those songs.
Interesting that you mentioned Come On, Eileen, because we are reviewing today The Flash, and Ezra Miller was in The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and that was like a major song when they were like advertising and in the trailer of that like movie and in the big scene.
Is that true?
Yeah, because like when they were going to the dance and so Ezra Miller, he's not like the main character in that movie, but he's a really likable like secondary character, and the main character like he's at like the dance and that song plays and it's when he finally.
Come on, Eileen, wasn't that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it made me think of that. But yeah, we're doing The Flash today, you guys.
Controversial Flash film.
Yeah.
But first, we're going to blurt out.
All right.
Blurt out. Blurt out. Blurt out. Blurt out. So this is a time in the segment where we just kind of talk about other stuff that we are liking before we get into our review of the movie at hand. All right. All right. So I'm going to go first because I don't really have much I'm blurting out about.
Okay.
I usually let Whitney go first because I'm nice like that. But I wanted to blurt out about our comedy show. So me and her traveled to Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Virginia Beach area. Had a nice little excursion with also another fellow blurred. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Is she a blurred?
Yeah.
Okay. Another fellow blurred, Shaliqua. And we had an awesome time. It was fun. It was funny. We were kind of scary a little bit at that one point where we couldn't figure out where we were going to get the car charged. I was like, Lord, please let it work. Anyway, but it was
They were
fun.
Scared. I was fine.
We were scared. She was fine, but I just see Shaliqua's stories, please. I need to go back and look at those because she was cracking me up. That was getting me through it. But I don't know how you do it, Whitney. I'd be extra stressed about that. The charge is down, and then you have to find a location. And remember, especially that time of night, it was like super late. I was like, how did you? I don't know. I feel like I would be stressed. And I remember Shaliqua just said, we done passed so many gas stations. But I was like, exactly. We passed so many gas stations, but there were no charger things for the electronic cars. And I was like, they should change that.
I mean, I'm sure they're working on it because there's like, that's a lot of infrastructure you have to build out.
Infrastructure or just one of those little things like
well, you have to have places that are going to host the charging stations, so that could be gas stations, but that means they would have to build whole new terminals to take the charge to like charge you for the charge.
That's true.
So that's like that's investment,
right? And
you would have to. They're like a lot of gas stations are probably like electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles are on the rise, but it's probably not to a tipping point where they're like, we're still making enough money. We don't have to really worry about trying to cater to that part of the population that has electric vehicles. Sheetz and Wawa have been good about that, especially like for ones near like a highway, tend to be ones that will have like the charging stations. So that way they'll have like the fast chargers. You can go in, since they have like the made to order food, you can go in, grab you something to eat, and then, eat something while you're waiting for it to charge. Okay. And it's also because I know you guys were asking me, like, because the one we ended up charging at was a Target.
Right.
And they're like, well, why at a Target? And it's like, well, it's like shopping. It's one of those things where since you have to wait for a bit, you can be shopping while your car charges. So places that make the most sense, are like shopping centers. Could be like a mall, a grocery store, because, you're going to spend like probably at least 30 minutes in it if you're like actually making groceries and not just stopping in really quickly. So in that time, your vehicle can be charging.
Well, at the end of that, I'm just like, I don't know if it's for me yet. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I can say is I don't know. But it was like, it's cool, but at the same time, it's like, I like that you don't have to pay for gas, but then I'm like, it's cool. But then at the same time,
you still have to pay for charge.
Yeah, and if you can't find the place because you don't know where you are, you really gotta map your route out, right? Anyway, that's not my blurt out.
So, like, electric vehicles, at least going by my electric vehicle, has on its map system where it'll just like constantly be showing you where the nearest charging station is.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't usually have it on that part of the screen. Like, I usually have it on like my Android Auto screen, But if I switch to the like map screen, it has. That's why I put like the search button because it constantly tells you.
Ah, okay. So
what
you'll know where there's one.
Mm-hmm.
Now it doesn't tell you if that one's working or not.
It does not. It does not.
That's
because as
don't
we
like.
saw over there, Watson was not working while Susanna was.
Oh, Susanna, don't you work for me? 'Cause I come from Alabama and I need to go home and pee. I'm sorry.
Which was pretty much
because Whitney needed to pee. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah.
Anyway, my blurt out is like what we actually did, not the whole. That part was funny, but it was like being that late at night. Thanking God we had found somebody who told us that Watson wasn't working. But it was really the comedy show.
Stranger from North
Thank
Carolina.
you, random white dude from North Carolina. Thank you. First time comes in handy. I'm stuck.
That just reminds me of the story that Liqua told us though about like when we were thinking about, and this will probably come up in my blurt talk if blurt out if it doesn't come up in Bola's, but talking about like the wasp.
Right.
And how nobody was trying to get this wasp. Malik was like, yeah, there was a carpenter bee at something she was at. She was like, this white dude killed it with his bare hands.
Like, and that's how you do it.
And that's how you do it. It's like, that country quality man is in short supply these days.
Hell yeah, girl. But
that North Carolina dude, being from North Carolina, he was probably country, was like, this lady looked like she is struggling. Let me tell her that one of these stations is down, and if it's one with a W, that's probably the one that's down. I'm
exactly.
Like, thank you, stranger from North Carolina. I appreciate you, sir.
I really do. So thank you for helping us out. But I really we went to see Roy Wood Jr. at the Funny Bone in Virginia Beach. And I mean, we have a Funny Bone here in Richmond, but he was not going to come here. And you guys know I love The Daily Show. I miss it, honestly, with the writer's strike going on. I really miss it because I was like, man, I wanted to see one of the comedians on there is named Dulce Sloan, and she was doing her week, and it was like she only did one episode in her week. Mm-hmm. Everybody else got to do their whole week, but well, actually not, because Ronnie Chang didn't do his week or anybody else after that. But she did her week, and then it was like she did one episode into her week, and then the writer's strike nixed everything. So I was mad because I wanted to see her do her week hosting to see if I would love for Roy to be the main host because Roy is hilarious. But as he said during our during the session, like somebody of course in the audience was like, are you gonna host the Daily Show? He was like, you know what, he would love to, but it's a stressful job. I mean, he actually like honestly told us how I saw it because I watched the Daily Show and I love Trevor. I saw him, I saw the clip of him telling everybody that he was leaving. And I assumed that he told the backstage folks and he told the team, but he was just telling us and took us by surprise. Nah, Trevor took the whole team by surprise. He was like, Trevor didn't tell nobody he was leaving. He just told everybody then. I was like, are you serious? You would think you going out on air, you at least tell the producers and stuff. Trevor did not. So I was like, damn, Trevor must have got to him. But I don't blame him because I also think he picked the right time to bounce out. At the same time, him and all the Brits are leaving now, actually. Him and Corden and all the other ones, they're all leaving now.
Oh, snap.
Except for that one that does, that one British dude with the glasses that did Zazu. I forget his name.
I don't know. I don't know who voiced Zazu.
For the live action remake of
the King. Remake, not the original.
Not the original, the live action remake.
Still don't know who that is though.
He wins the Emmy for late night TV all the time. He has an HBO special on. Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. But I just his comedy special was golden. Like Roy Wood Jr. did his thing. I was like so pleased with it, and it was so funny. I just liked it a lot. Like I laughed the entire time. And I love comedy because lately we've been seeing some comedy specials, especially for like when you see the first comedian special.
John Oliver.
Thank you. It was John Oliver. Ooh, that totally escaped me. Especially when you see the first comedy special of somebody that's really funny, and then their second one is like not as funny.
Yeah.
And I've been like having that issue, like recoiling or ricocheting or whatever you want to say it is. But I've been having that whole like, oh man, I've been listening to the second one and they're not as funny or they're not as good as the first one.
Well, we discussed this though. I think part of it is because of the pandemic. Because apparently part of these comedians' process is like going to smaller places and doing the routine and like refining it until it's really good. Because then they see, okay, this one's hitting, this one's not. And since they didn't have that opportunity because they couldn't, because of the pandemic, I feel like that's why, because I agree with you. I've seen a lot of them where I've been like, oh, this was not as good.
I watched several where I didn't laugh as much, and I was very unhappy about that. I was like, man, I want to watch something that's funny.
Yeah.
So for me to go, because I've also been to the Funny Bone here in Richmond twice in the past month or so. Let's say May, because we're in July now. But because I didn't go to the Funny Bone except for the Virginia Beach one in June. But May and I think April maybe, I went with Matt and I went with my sister. I saw Godfrey. Godfrey started off strong, but then he got like super political, and then he got into his like Christian jokes where I'm like, I'm not against a Christian joke at all, but I was like, some of it was just like not in great taste. Where I was just like, now you're just saying your own opinions about stuff. It's not really a joke in there, you know what I mean? And then people were like not laughing at him, and he was just like, I don't care. I like to be controversial. I'm like, okay, but please be funny at the same time. Like I was like, fine, but
I feel like that's a cop out. If you say, if you think it, fine, but if you have to say it on stage,
right,
that's usually because you know that you're not hitting,
right?
And you got to say,
and he wasn't hitting at all, and I was just like, okay, I'm done with Godfrey. I was just like, man, wasted some money, but it just I didn't like it where you're the headliner, and then after a while you just like, can we go now? You know what I mean? That's how I felt with the Godfrey one. And then Orlando Jones was actually funny. He was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie, he was pretty funny. I did feel like the girls that went before him were funnier. So I laughed way more at the women that he brought on his tour. They just were hilarious. But so I've been like kind of happy to go to this show, and Roy Wood Jr. was even funnier than the person that the pre-show act. Her name was Sasha Sasha, right?
Give me one sec here.
Anyway,
Perry
Sasha. She was hilarious.
She
awesome
was.
Set. Funny as hell. I can't even get into what she said because it was so funny. But the main problem with the whole Funny Bone thing was not only the uncomfortable tight seats, but the host was horrible.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you guys, it was awful. Like, I had to look down at my phone because he was bombing so bad right in my face.
It was,
and I was like, no,
uncomfortable to experience.
Like, everybody around us had like a, God, please stop talking look on their face. So, I'm sorry, but the Virginia Beach Funny Bone host, you're really not great. Please just stick to announcing them and announcing them the correct name. You're the host. How you didn't know her name?
Messed her name up so bad.
He was like, Sasha, and I was like, I fucked it up again. I was like, oh my God, you're bombing so bad. Not only do your jokes not hit, but you don't even got the right. And then the funny thing is, Perry Sasha came out and said, she was like, I'm looking around. I was like, Sasha, who the F is that? You up, girl? And then she immediately cut the tension of that. Yeah. With a good joke. So, but Roy was just amazingly funny. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I can't wait. I can't talk about the other thing because he told us not to. But I was like, if you have a chance to see Roy Wood Jr. in person, please go see him. He's super funny. Hopefully, whenever the Daily Show comes back, I do hope to make him the new host, but it's up in the air right now. But that's what I'm blurting out about. And my second blur out was Manifest finished, and it was phenomenal. I enjoyed it very much. And that's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to +1 on the comedy show because that's one of the things I was also blurting out about. But before I get to the comedy show, I am going to also blurt out about just kind of our little escapade in general, because we started out by going to is it pronounced Ghanaian restaurant that Bola found called Yendidi, and my meal was so good. I had some leftovers for brunch this morning, and it was just like, oh, that place was so bomb. I got the spinach soup with fish as my meat, and eba. And I also had, as a side, got the fried plantain. With the
Yendidi sauce.
Was the bomb!
I promised y'all that I was going to teach Whitney how to fry plantain, because she was just like, nah, she can't do it. I'm like, it's literally, I was like, you don't have to, because she was like, can I just order something to go? And I was like, you really don't have to. I was like, I can teach you how to make really good plantain. It takes nothing and it's super cheap. All you gotta do is buy the plantain, make sure they're pretty ripe, get the oil frying pan, slice them up, and you have your snack.
Nobody really wants Whitney to be frying anything.
Come on, Whitney. You gotta try, man. You gotta try. It's super
Whitney's
easy.
That's like a public health hazard. I would be like a weapon of mass destruction.
Oh my gosh. I bet you I can teach you how to do it, and you will not burn. You just have to. I will teach you how to do it. You just have to be careful because it is, but it doesn't pop like frying fish and stuff does. Like, I don't blame you. Even I don't like to do fried fish on the stove because that thing pops at you all the time because of the water in fish. But the plantain is just open it and start cutting it. And you just put it in there and it's fine. It doesn't pop. You just have to make sure you don't slash the oil at yourself. But that's it.
Okay. Yeah, but like my meal was so delicious. So
African
I'm also
food is
gonna.
delicious.
It is.
You were having a good African food run. Like, she's
Yes.
been really digging the African food this month.
I'm gonna try some different foods from Anane African Food, the place that we ordered from. I think we told you guys about it before, but we got like the peanut soup last time. I am gonna try their egusi soup.
Yeah, egusi is the bomb.
This time. And it's going to be hard because the peanut soup was also really good, but it's like, no, that's kind of a main dish.
I wish that I ordered the peanut soup there instead of the soup I got. I was like, I should have just got the peanut soup with the beef. It probably would have been better. Anyway.
But yeah, so it's just, it was so good. It was so good. Like the flavors are just like in Nigerian food and like, well, African food because this was
West
Ghanaian.
Ghanaian.
Mm-hmm. Like these flavors just be on point, you guys. Like, so flavorful. Yes. So rich.
We do it big in our place. We do it big. We have to have flavor. You have to have spice. Spice and rice. That's what we say. But
it was delicious. So I am blerding out about Yendidi Restaurant. So the food was delicious. They are very services.
Oh yeah. See, let's. Are we getting into that?
Well, I'll gloss over it, but let's just talk about the wasp. The
wasp.
Wasp kind of goes into the kind of not service, but just they were very laissez-faire. Like the customer was like, "They got wasp," and the dude is looking like he's just kind of like laissez-faire, like, "Oh, yeah, there is." It's like,
they don't be caring.
Can you get him out?
I was like, you see all your customers like, oh, my thing is like those things can sting and keep stinging, so that's why you have to get rid of them.
Yeah, and some people might be allergic or something. That's like,
right.
I'm like,
I've never been stung by anything.
Hope y'all have good liability insurance because y'all are not hyped about getting this wasp out.
Not to mention the slippery floors, but I don't want to like bash them because the food was good.
Food was banging.
That's what I say. Order out. Order takeout. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and it is like trying to park there. Like it is a thing.
Oh my gosh, man, it's dangerous. Like you're literally. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're kind of like risking your life and your car because it's like they're so close to the main road.
Yeah,
that there's no like buffer space.
There really isn't. Like the parking lot, like the end of the line for where you park between is like goes pretty much almost right into the actual road. So like it's
one of those ones where you just drive right off the road right into their space, the parking spaces. But usually there's like a little lead up,
right?
So there's some separation. There's no separation. If you back in, trust me, you're not getting out unless there's nobody on the road or you got somebody looking.
You mean if you pull in?
If you pull my bad, yeah. If you pull in, my bad. If you pull in and you don't back in, that's when you're gonna have trouble because you can at least see when you're back in, you can see the cars coming.
Right.
But if you just like pull in like I like to do, and like Shaliqua said the same thing. Shaliqua was like, I don't be backing in. I was like, yeah, me neither. I don't be backing in either.
I am the backing queen.
She loves to back it in.
That's how my mom taught me. She's like, when everybody else is trying to maneuver their way out, you just slide on out.
Anyway, continue with your next blerd out, Whitney.
Yeah. Well, I'm just like, my next blerd out is just plus oneing the comedy show.
Oh,
like
hey.
Perry Sachet, she was freaking hilarious.
I can't even repeat what she said. But it was just,
it's getting into not safe for work. So yeah, I can't really go too much into her routine, but she was hilarious. Hilarious. I'm gonna have to look her up because Liqua said she actually knew of her and kind of follows her. So I'm gonna have to like follow her and see if I can find some more. Yeah, exactly. Because I really liked her. But yeah, Roy Wood Jr., like both of them, with the exception of the trash. I'm sorry, dude. Maybe you're just on your journey, but at this point, you are your comedy is kind of trash.
You're talking about he was shitting on his own kids.
I was like, dang.
And then I'm not proud of him. And then he was also like not he was trying to make a joke about bottom and tops gay people, but it was just not even correct. I was like, what are you doing?
I expended quite a lot of brain power on that joke trying to see
it didn't make
how
no
it
sense.
was,
It was so bad. The
joke.
caboose joke was stupid too.
Yeah,
the
that
setup was too long.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
Yeah, not great at all. That was uncomfortable. But yeah, the rest of it, like the headliner and the pre-show, Perry Sachet and Roy Wood Jr., he was just, oh my God, like all throughout. His entire routine is just, he's fire. Mm-hmm. He is fire. He needs to, I wonder if it would they said Paramount Plus. Because I was like, I thought I've seen something from him before, but I think I probably have not. I think I listened to a, do you listen to a Good One?
No.
Okay. It's a podcast about jokes. Actually, that's their tagline. Good One, a podcast about jokes.
Oh, interesting.
So they'll take different comedians and they'll like analyze one joke and ask them about how they put it together and kind of how their thinking was about it. So they had Roy Wood Jr. on there at one point. So I think that's where I heard him before, because I don't think I've ever seen, because I don't think he has anything on Netflix.
No, he has something on Comedy
Paramount.
Central.
Okay, yeah,
and
they said
got put on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
so yeah,
but I loved it. It was so hilarious. It was a great night. Plus, that area down there, the Funny Bone, the Virginia Beach Funny Bone, is a great area. Then the fountain and stuff. That's just
around.
It's
a live concert when we got there.
Yeah,
I like seeing people milling about, sitting down, enjoying the air. Mm-hmm. It was nice. It wasn't too bad. It was a little warm, toasty, especially in Yendidi. They had no air, y'all. That thing was
like 86. It hovered between 85 and 86 degrees, and then they just had the fan to circulate the hot air.
It was something.
Yeah.
It was an experience, but the food was good.
The food was fire. Oh, I forgot about the drink.
Oh, yeah. The drinks. Pineapple ginger drink.
Yes.
And the Zobo.
Yeah.
You should have got the Zobo.
I don't think you could have gone wrong either way, because I was really happy with my pineapple ginger one, but tasting yours, the Zobo, that was also really good. So I was like, you know what? You couldn't have gone wrong with either one of these. Mm-hmm. They were both really, really good. Mm-hmm. So I am looking forward to visiting again, because it was really good. I would probably, I guess I would
take out on Yendidi, right? You could eat there too.
You could.
You just gotta tolerate stuff.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, because that's a drive for us.
It's a drive.
To drive and then have to find somewhere to eat it. If you're not going to eat in there, it's just going to be kind of.
If they have the space, because they're not big.
Yeah, they're also really small. It's really small.
And also where
I like their decorations though. It's just the service, because it's like one girl and there was another dude, but he didn't seem to be.
There was two girls. I don't know where the other one went to.
Oh, there was two. Okay.
There was, but she just went. I don't know, because she brought us our food.
Okay.
So I guess she's the cook help in the back.
Ah, okay.
And then the one girl was doing the front, and then the guy, I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was just staying back there.
So it wasn't she wasn't unfriendly. She was a friendly. Our waitress was friendly, but just probably didn't help with the Bluetooth.
Anyway, let's start ethnic service. I'm not gonna lie, different ethnic groups. Service is not always their main function.
The food will be on point, but you know that
customer service is not their high thing. I prefer some place that has good both, but
that's always preferable. But well, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Could have been more attentive, but other than that, friendly and stuff.
Yeah, because I remember she totally forgot I asked for puff puff, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, you did," and I was like, the whole meal was over.
Yeah, and you were about to say you don't have to worry, but she walked off. She
walked away and went and got it
and I'm like, dang.
Because I was going to be like, don't worry about it. And then I wanted a meat pie, and then they were all out of meat pie. And I was like, I should have bought the meat pie first. Mm. But it was all good.
Yeah, but it was delicious. You guys, I would fully recommend it.
Food-wise, yes.
Food-wise, I would fully recommend it, because it is small and it's tight. And the tables, they can't really accommodate a lot of people. So if you've got a party of more than four, that's going to be really hard for them to accommodate.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
more than four. I would get it to go and find another place to eat.
Right. Yeah, because it's pretty tight, but the food is the bomb for what I had. Mm-hmm. So I definitely recommend the spinach soup. I had it with fish. I didn't have it with any other meats. With the FA.
Right.
And definitely recommend the fried plantains as a side with their Yendidi sauce.
The Yendidi sauce is good.
Yes, and I definitely recommend the pineapple ginger and the Zobo. So
freshly made in-house drinks.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't alcoholic, but you can't make them alcoholic because the Zobo that anyway, you can make them alcoholic, but this one was just plain, like it's like a hibiscus drink. And mixed hibiscus in it, and it's really delicious.
It really is. It was really good.
Ready
So
to get into the review
I fully recommend it. Yeah. I think we're ready. Let's do it. All right, you guys. So we are reviewing The Flash, the 2023 movie, not the series, you guys.
The series I wish, because I love that. The Flash, the movie, didn't love it as much. So I'm just going to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, y'all, I did not want to watch this movie. Because I'm sorry, I'm not on board with what Ezra Miller's doing with his life. I don't support his outbursts of anger and violence against women, especially. And I was definitely not trying to see something he was in. But I was like, okay, Whitney made a case for, like, you can't just watch everything that's, like, you know, we should at least review it and see. Because I also thought the film was going to be bad because it's DC.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, you know, I give DC I got no chill for DC because they needed to be doing their stuff a lot better. And then the stuff that they complain about is, like, actually good. Like, people were talking about Wonder Woman 2 and Shazam 2, and I'm like, those were actually very good. The other films that they're all like, I'm like, no, these were not good. But some of them know that too. But I was like, okay, give the benefit of the doubt. Let's see it. And even if the reviews were already coming out bad, they were actually more so coming out mixed. She's like, let's review it and talk about why we didn't like it. But my main reason for not wanting to watch it is I didn't want to pay to support Ezra Miller. That was my main reason. Also, I love Grant Gustin's regular Flash. That I was like, nobody else can do this but him. I mean, someone else can, but I just was like, nah. Leave the Flash to me all day.
Just to interject really quickly, I thought, like, just, you know, a lot of people were speculating that he would have some type of cameo, but he did not.
That's another thing that I was also mad about, because I'm like, so you had all these other people up in here, but you couldn't give a nod to, and then the funny thing is, in one of the Flash episodes, or at least a teaser or something, him and Ezra, they actually did, like, a Flash thing together. Like, he was... I feel like Ezra came on and I just don't remember what episode or what thing it was on, but he came on and, like, did a cameo on the TV series. For them to not even honor him and, like, let him be in one of the Flash things, and it's another thing. There was so much going on in this film. I was like, so you can have all these Batmans and all these Supermans, but y'all couldn't, like, put a cameo, let Grant Gustin be in there just for a little bit. They should have done that. I think it was a missed opportunity. I think it was a missed opportunity for them. But let's get into first impressions. Whitney, you go ahead. I kind of gave mine already.
My first impressions came from the trailer, and I was actually rather excited to see The Flash.
Yeah, the trailer was fire.
Yeah, the trailer was fire.
But the trailers are always fire.
Not always.
The trailers are.
Not every trailer. Okay. I mean, well, okay, I'm thinking of, like, Avatar, The Way of Water, and that trailer was beautiful. So in that way, it was fire. But as far as telling me anything about what the story was going to be about,
interest, yeah, they don't always pique interest.
Yeah. So, but the trailer was absolute fire. So I was like, I want to see this. I'm like, I have a problem with Ezra Miller, what he's doing in his personal life or what he's going through. Hopefully he gets some help. I don't know what's going on. So that's not great about that.
Hopefully he paid for his crimes against women.
But, like, I'm like, Ezra Miller's not the only person in this. And, you know, a lot of people go into making a movie, like a lot of people go into making a movie. So you don't want to, like, you know, have other people's hard work.
That's why I couldn't make it all about Ezra. That's what made me be like, okay. And then honestly, it was Whitney saying, like, even if it's going to be bad, we should still review a bad film. Yeah. And talk about why. So those two reasons why I relented and allowed myself to pay full price for the ticket. Because I was like, okay, we go on a day where I can only pay $5. But I relented and I watched it. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I would say it wasn't a bad watch. It really wasn't a bad watch, actually. It's way better than Black Adam. But there was some problems. Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. So I would say it wasn't a bad watch. That's my main impression. That it really wasn't that bad, but there was definitely some issues and some things that could have been way better.
And it's funny for me, thinking about the movie overall, my favorite parts were pretty much everything outside of the Flash himself. I loved
Remember you
Michael
said that?
Keaton as Batman.
Oh,
I loved
it.
the cameos they had by like other characters. Like they had like the Nicolas Cage Superman. They had the Christopher Reeve Superman where they recreated him. They had, I guess, like some other Flash, which I'm not as familiar enough with Flash. It wasn't the Grant Gustin Flash. It was some like older one.
Yeah, it was the one that's in the TV series that plays his dad.
Oh, okay.
And he played back in the day. He played the first Flash with the hat on and everything.
Yeah, and I forgot they also had Supergirl, but I've never watched the Supergirl like back in the day Supergirl because they had her together with Christopher Reeve's Superman,
the blonde one.
right? So those were cool. I liked the cameos and I liked the nostalgia. And I loved Supergirl. Their Supergirl. I'm not sure what I'll have to look it up to see what the actress's name was. I thought she was phenomenal. She, to me, was like, she was the Wonder Woman in Batman versus Superman. She was like a bright spot. I thought she was pretty awesome as Kara Zor-El. Or Jor-El? Is it Zor-El or Jor-El?
It's Zor-El.
Okay. Yeah, she was awesome. So I really loved her in that role. So I'm really hoping that they find a way to maybe incorporate her because I thought she was really great as that universe's Supergirl. I loved her portrayal, to be honest. And
are we getting into likes or you're still on first impression?
Oh, you know what? That is kind of getting into the likes. Let's move on. Okay.
So I'm gonna piggyback off and just like. Now we're getting into the likes. So I agree. I really did like the Supergirl. I liked her persona. I like her vibe. I liked. I'm gonna get into Ezra now. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. Ezra Miller, whatever his personal life issues is, Ezra Miller is definitely a good actor. He's very good at acting. He's very dedicated, passionate.
I made that mistake. My bad.
Oh, okay. So. That part wasn't bad. It wasn't even the acting, but there was something about the vibe. Ezra's vibe is just, to me, not the Flash's vibe. And I'm not even trying to just go with Grant Gustin thing. There was something about Ezra in his portrayal that to me wasn't the Flash or wasn't like. I don't know. That part was there's something about his vibe that doesn't gel well with this character.
I agree.
Now, I also think he didn't do a bad job acting. I have to give him a little bit of credit for doing both. I have to give they credit for doing
them
both. I have to give Ezra credit for doing both. There we go.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think that Ezra Miller is a good actor overall. However, their portrayal as the Flash seems not quite on character. And I don't know if that's a directing thing or if it's an acting thing, but I actually didn't have a problem with Ezra Miller in The Flash, like in the Justice League and stuff. I thought they were like entertaining. Maybe a little bit goofier than I would have said I expected based off of what I do know about the Flash and Barry Allen for them to be. But looking at this movie with both Barry Allen, like the one that's like 18, and then the older Barry Allen who goes back in time. The younger one, it's like, I mean, it's kind of cool for a character arc because rather than being the kind of super goofy dude he was at the beginning, he had to be the mature one. And that kind of made I remember in the clip you sent me from Screen Crush when they were talking about, it made you like that Barry Allen more because there was a more obnoxious one that you could turn your ire towards.
And it shows like a growth arc for Barry's character.
Yeah. But I liked it. And they did a really great job portraying two different versions where you knew that these were two different people. Yeah. Right. And I like that. But I got to just say, I would have to look at it again to see it very clearly, but I felt like those abs on that soup were very defined compared to...
Too. I was like, what's going on there, too? I was like, why do we have to have the bulge there? Like,
I was like, I feel like these abs on the suit are not necessarily true to life of what you've got developed under the suit, sir.
I'm mad you were talking about that. I'm so mad.
I'm sorry. It caught my attention because I'm like, these are very, very defined abs.
The only thing that bothered me about the suit was the bulge, the penis bulge. Sorry, I was like, we don't have to actually have this. They could have just like made it just straight flat so that it wasn't noticeable, like they do on the Flash TV show. You can't see no bulge. It's just whatever. We know stuff is there. Oh my God, I can't even get into this conversation. Wow. But it was so pronounced to me. I was like, so we just going. That was one thing. I'm glad you brought it up because I was like, I didn't like that at all. I was like, why? Why can't we see this anyway?
Yeah, but that was one thing where I just kept looking. I was like, this seems like not even like 300-esque painted on. I'm like, this is like they built that in to make like even look. I mean, you could see when like in one of the scenes where he's trying to get his powers back. And I'm saying Barry, which is why I'm using he. That Ezra Miller, they did some work. There was some definition, but it was not the definition that Flash uniform showed. So I'm like, these abs are unearned here. Sorry. But yeah, I really wanted to, I went back and watched the Michael Keaton Batman after this. Because Michael Keaton as Batman was a very bright spot in this movie.
I agree. I loved when he came on and when he had the suit on. It reminded me of the past and watching that film. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, yeah, this is Batman. Like,
yes.
I loved everything about it. How his suit was. And I like somebody mentioned in the clip, we'll post a video in the show notes. Mm-hmm. But somebody mentioned in the clip how it was like you were seeing the old school, and it was more so that they were using practical effects, not so much CG, because a lot of the CGI was really a controversial topic because some of it was really good and some of it was really too noticeable. Weird. Yeah, some of it was weird. Let's get into one that's really weird. I don't know if I like the baby shower scene. I was mad about the whole time because I'm like, I love babies so much and people, so I'm just like, nah, this is terrible. Like, why can't... I was like, I don't know. I just was not feeling it. Then the CGI, the babies look so fake. It was ridiculous to me. And I was just like, a baby shower. It was too goofy.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is unpractical. Like, I don't know. Something wasn't, I was just watching it because I was like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it that much.
Right. And that's something we kind of had almost like, we should have recorded ourselves as we came out of the theater because we had like a discussion as we came out about the movie. Mm-hmm. And I felt like it was tone could be kind of, it was one of those things where some things were kind of campy. Yeah. And you can do camp, but if you do camp, I feel like you have to fully commit to it. And you have to be either extremely campy or not do too much. And I felt like they were too much in the middle where they didn't go far enough, or they needed to have just like not any of that camp at all.
Some of the lines and things, you're just like, come on, like the "Come on, Barbie, let's go party." I was like, why is that in this?
It was. I mean, I thought it was amusing, but it was also like kind of weird.
It was please. Like, why would Barry say that? Like
that is. You know what? That's true. That is very out of place. I found it amusing, but it was very out of place.
Yeah, I like the "Come on, Barbie." I think it's funny, but it would be funny if it came from someone who normally does that kind of banter. Like I would expect a Deadpool to say something like that and it would work.
Yes.
Because, yes. It would make sense because like that's his humor, that's his character. But like Barry doesn't talk like that really. So I was just like, it just came out of left field. I'm like, and then the posing when he runs.
Oh my God.
As someone who watches the actual Flash TV show, I was so sickened every time he went real low because it was like he like stopped and like it was seconds. I don't know. It was like
a weird version of the Natasha Romanoff thing. Remember when Yelena was like, why do you always do the pose?
But I love Natasha's posing.
I do. Works. And it's funny because they also kind of like made it into a joke. Like, you always pose when you do that.
But his like motioning to the run, like he's gearing up. And I'm like, just run.
It's so weird. Yeah, because he doesn't always do it.
Yeah.
There were times when he didn't. So I'm like, why?
They made sure they like paid attention, especially in the third half of the movie, which I think was the weaker half actually. The last, like I would say the third half was the weaker half of the film. The middle part was actually the best part to me. The middle part where you see the berries and meeting them. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect this to be just Barry with himself the whole film. I did not expect that, and I was like, so we really just gonna be the two Barrys? Like, where everybody else at in the film? Okay, so that part was interesting though. We got to see the struggle. You got to see some of the the notes. There was some nice emotional moments, like when he saw his mom in the store. Mm-hmm. That part was like nice to me. So, but I just wish there was some balance throughout the film, because it was like, I was like, what are we trying to do with this film? Like, where are we going? You had that craziness there, and then I felt like there was just parts where it was going so many places. You know what I mean?
It's interesting you mentioned like his mom, because like in the screencast video that we're putting in the show notes, they mentioned like how she's hardly in there, and that was like his whole motivation for going back was so that she would be alive. And then there's very little interaction with her. Now, I understand that, not long after that happens, like General Zod lands and he's about to like destroy the world. So that's a very big... Mm-hmm. And I think so I don't know how I feel about it, because it's like a responsible adult is going to be like, I caused this, I need to fix this. So I understand for that reason, that's why he didn't get to interact with like his parents very much, because he was too busy trying to save that universe.
Yeah. I think they should have had more scenes with her. I think the Barry, like, if I know... Well, I mean, again, I'm going back to the TV show. The TV show for that Flashpoint thing, because they did Flashpoint in the TV show, and they did it bomb. They did it well. That Barry was really like, I need to see my mom. Like, since she was alive, he took more time, some moments to be with her, talk with her, even if he had to pretend to be someone else. Anytime he saw his real mom anywhere, he took time because he valued it, And so I think they should have had some scenes. Like, I don't know, it just would have been nice if they had some scenes there. But I guess because of the nature of what he did, and that there was another Barry already there, so it just messes it up. But some of the things I didn't like was also, I know there was supposed to be a different Barry. The younger one's a different one. But I didn't like some of his friends. I just didn't like that whole scene with them in the house. And they're bantering back and forth about whether or not Marty McFly was the
Eric Stoltz, or Michael J. Fox was there. Because he was like Back to the Future. He's like Eric Stoltz. He was like, no, Eric Stoltz is not Marty McFly. And I didn't get it until later. I'm like, oh, multiverse. Yeah, he's not actually.
I didn't get some things either, and I don't know why. I was actually disoriented in certain parts of the film. I was like, what's happening here? For some reason, I didn't get that they were in the multiverse. I knew that I thought he was supposed to be going to the past. That's what I was assuming that he was trying to do. So I was so shocked. I was like, wait, I know there's supposed to be another Barry in here, but I was like, why is it so soon? I thought he was going to the past, but his past, he's not there. You know what I mean? Like, I just thought he was going to the past, not to another timeline, completely another world.
Well, he got knocked out, so the other him knocked himself out. Spoiler alert, you guys. Sorry, you guys know that all of our episodes are full of spoilers.
Right.
The other him purposefully knocked him out of returning back.
And we didn't know that was him.
We didn't.
There's something in the CW one called the Time Wraiths, and they look scary and nasty. And I thought he was a Time Wraith, just trying to come and, you're messing with the timeline, stop. Because that's what happens in the Flashpoint stuff. Time Wraiths try and get Barry because of what he's doing, messing with time, going back to fix stuff. So, but it wasn't a Time Wraith. It was really just the second Barry, the younger Barry, older, turned into some crazy thing. That part was just...
It was interesting.
It was disjointed to me.
It was confusing, but I also thought it was an interesting point, because it's like...
It was 3 Barrys at one point.
There were, but I found that particular plot point interesting, because it's like, this is what not letting go can get you. Like, you understand the motivation of him wanting to save his mom. Like, I feel like any of us would feel that same way. But you see that, like, the degree to which Barry... the original Barry, what we think of as the original Barry, like, he doesn't go to that point. I mean, he does start it along that timeline, like he's the catalyst that caused this stuff. But the younger Barry that turns into this one, he was much more obsessive about it. Yeah. Like when Kara and Bruce died, he like just keeps doing it. And the original Barry's standing there in like the, what do you call it? The Time Coliseum or whatever it is.
I know, right? I did not know what to call that. I'm not sure I liked it. Some people did, but I'm not sure I liked it because I was just like, this is weird.
It is weird. The way that the graphics were rendered in there was very...
You're right. It looks like a Coliseum. The way they had it, or like the Time Stadium or something.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I'm not going to lie to you. It threw me off.
Very odd.
It was.
Like the way
too much graphics.
Showed, yeah.
It was too much.
I guess that was the way of them making like, oh, we'll just make it really weird so we don't have to put too much effort into making the graphics good. Which kind of worked because it was weird enough where it's like, I guess this is just how stuff looks in here, but it's not great looking.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I prefer the CW's little cloud and lightning. That's all they have. And I prefer it. And you just see Barry going through it. I prefer that.
Yeah. But like,
what was that Coliseum Stadium stuff? I was like, I'm not gonna lie, especially in the third half. The first half, you're just kind of watching when he went back, but then the third one, I was like, what in the world is going on? And it was like repetition of stuff. It was throwing me off. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
So, and I think that might have been just the graphics idea, the way they decided to depict the world. I just wasn't. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I did like that plot point though. Like
that part is fine.
Letting things there are certain problems that you can't solve, and I think that kind of got. But it's kind of funny. I'm thinking about the Screen Crush YouTube video. They're like, so they're saying that, there are certain problems you can't solve, but then, and you think he's learned this lesson, but then he's still in the house and changes something.
He still went and changed stuff.
And then it like causes like, so there's no longer the Ben Affleck,
no longer the Ben
Bruce
Affleck
Wayne.
Bruce in his regular world. Now Bruce became George Clooney.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, you did not actually learn.
Yeah, and everyone's wondering whether or not George Clooney's going to join.
Because it's basically the same thing, dude. Like, the thing that caused the change, you're like, oh, I won't interact. All I'll do is that I'll put the can in there. And it's like, dude, by moving the cans, that's basically the same thing you did the first time.
I mean, you're right. But I did like that he got to exonerate his dad.
I did like that. I did like that. But that's unfair. Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. I had a problem with the fact that they did not show us who killed his mom anyway.
Yeah.
Because in the TV series, we know because we can see what's happening. But you just come in and he's just there and it's like his mom is dead with a knife in her. I'm like, who did it? What happened?
That is a good point. Who actually did do it?
Like, how? So, I mean, I'm mad at that whole point. I'm like, y'all just left that wide open. I was like, so the Flash didn't decide to, like, actually go back in time and he could have seen who did his mom in and he didn't find out?
I mean, I kind of understand because Barry doesn't seem like the type of person who's like vengeance motivated, and that would have been like a vengeance thing. He just wanted his dad and his mom to be alive. But that's still weird because as a audience member, you're like, well, who did kill her?
Yeah.
Because they're still out there.
That's the problem with their version of how they did it. In the TV series and in the show, you know who did it. So you could see, because Barry saw the cloud of somebody running around. He could see it was a Reverse Flash that did it. But he just didn't know who it was when he was a child. But my thing is with this one, they didn't bring in the Reverse Flash and because there's too much going on. But it was like, this is a plot point that's very serious and deep. It's a major thing. The Reverse Flash is like his main enemy. So I was like, why didn't they at least address who killed her?
Yeah.
Or how she died? Or let us see something.
Right.
Then they can allude to it if they were going to make more. We don't know what the status is of the DCU EU now.
I mean, I think that's completely kaput.
Yeah. So
there's going to be the DCU. The DCEU is kaput.
I think so. And I think they do need to readjust and redo things because I don't know what it is about the DC. Like one of the videos I watched that I didn't send to you, it was just like the guy was just saying like he was talking about why the box office was so bad because it's like they expect this kind of film with this kind of budget to make $400 million and it only made 40 something, maybe a little bit more.
Wow.
And it made even less money than Black Adam when it first opening weekend. And I was like, and people, he was trying to give a reason to it. And of course he was talking about how the problems with the DCEU, but he was talking about how like fans just don't trust the DCU to deliver, and I think that's an interesting point to make. And I don't know if it's because we're having superhero fatigue, because I was going to pose this question to you after we finish really getting into the Flash, but I wonder, because even people talk about how Quantumania was not as great as people wanted it to be. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was a solid film. I didn't think it was bad. Definitely didn't think it was.
I
as
thought
bad
it was
as The
solid
Flash.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but I could see it. I don't need to watch it again.
I agree.
It's a one-time watch or a two-time watch at most. Other films that are really good, you want to watch it again. And so I was thinking too. I was like, well, I wonder what is this? I wonder, are we just done, or have we overdone the superhero theme? Have we like overkilled this to the point where everyone's having superhero fatigue, and this multiverse thing going everywhere is not really functioning or working for us anymore? That people are like
think so.
Tired of watching it at the box office.
I think that it just needs to be strong enough stories. Because I'm thinking of like, for example, like Blade. I'm excited to see like a Blade movie. I'm really excited for the Marvels, and I think of like Ms. Marvel. Loved that. Like, really looking forward to it. I think of like Yelena as Black Widow. Really excited to see her coming up. But I think some of it is maybe the storyline. Maybe sometimes they rest on their laurels and haven't put in the necessary story and build up, because they're like, oh, we've already got this fan base. So maybe there's not like people aren't putting in the necessary amount of work and creativity to make sure that people want to. Because I don't think it's that people might be tired of superhero movies, but I think that's more so not just like, because I feel like superhero movies is more of a genre. So that's like saying people are tired of romance movies.
Oh, yeah, no.
So I think it's more so that like, in some cases, like with the release, they're releasing too fast, so trying to keep up, and then like so many of them, and it's like, I'm a little tired because there's so many. But then it's also like a thing that if you make a really good one, it'll do well. Because I think of like Moon Knight. Moon Knight was like phenomenal. I loved Moon Knight so much.
Series, though. It
is, but it's still like Marvel, and it's in the MCU, like it's connected. And it's really good. I'm trying to think.
So you don't think? Are you tired of the multiverse plot point?
I am not yet, because I feel like Marvel might do a decent job with it. Because I liked Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
It was very good.
Yeah, I really liked that, and I liked the thing that also for me. I think that's a good example of why I'm not fatigued when they do new things. Because Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness with Sam Raimi, who does like really good horror movies. It had like this kind of horror type of tint in some parts, and I was like, this is very different from these other Marvel movies, and I liked that. And I think that's what they need to do, is they need to remember to do different things. And that's part of what, like, Moon Knight was cool. What was the werewolf one? Werewolf by Night?
I didn't watch that one.
Oh, you haven't? It was different. So if you do different stuff, I think people will be interested, but you can't just keep doing the same thing.
And that's what I think is the problem with DC. One, I think whoever decided to I think they were trying to be Marvel and it wasn't working for them. They should have found something that worked for them. You have all these ensemble movies, and then you're trying to do I think they should have done the standard. Like, that's what Marvel did. They did the standalone movies first, and then you can see the build up to the origin story movie, because that was the issue. Really, you already saw the Flash in either one of the Justice Leagues, and you either hated him or you didn't. And that was the other issue. You had the Justice Society, but in Black Adam, but why do I care about the Justice Society? I don't even know who the hell they are.
Yeah.
So it was just like, you guys are jumping the gun, and then you're overdoing it, and you're just like,
because that was a big thing for me. Like, one of the big characters died in Black Adam. I was like, I feel bad, but I kind of don't really care that much, because I don't know this character.
I didn't care about any of the people really in the Justice Society in Black Adam, which is another reason why the movie wasn't very good. Because I was like, these people, I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Why do I'm like, I don't even know those Justice Society. You haven't given us
time to like establish a connection with the character,
exactly,
to care about them.
Origin films do first, which they should have done a Flash film first, or a Cyborg film first, and then done a Justice League. Maybe hopefully better, because they did Superman, they did Batman. Well, I don't know if they did a Batman. Did they do one? They did Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
And I never watched that because I heard it was bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, see?
The only thing that was good in there was Wonder Woman.
Exactly. And then one thing with this film, DCU, they be using her because everybody loves Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman.
Is it Gal Gadot or is it Gal Gadot?
It's Gal Gadot.
I've been saying it wrong the entire time.
It's Gal Gadot, and I loved her I'm like, she'd be in there for like a second.
She's doing a lot of heavy lifting.
She's been doing a lot of heavy lifting. And I mean, her films are great, but she does a lot of heavy lifting.
Because people love her.
See her in there. I really hope that Mr. Gunn keeps her.
Yeah, she is phenomenal as Wonder Woman.
I heard today that they were keeping Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I hope they keep her because anytime I see her on screen, she does an awesome job. Like,
agreed.
The way she just rolled up in there and saved them and everything, I'm like, wow. All right, then.
Yeah.
But with Barry in here, I'm like, what is Barry's role? To me, he looked like the custodian of the group. Because I was like, what are you doing, Barry? Like, what's going on? Why are the other people? I just didn't know what was happening.
Can I say something else about talking about multiverse?
Yeah.
To me, in this Flash movie, DC's way of portraying the multiverse is confusing.
Thank you.
It makes sense to me in Marvel because, like, Marvel, it's not like if you change the timeline, you can have diverging ones, but in DC, because he changed the past, like, you had a whole different character. That didn't make sense to me.
Right.
Like, Marvel's makes sense. Like, the way they did it, like, it was magic. Like, they got to, like, or there's a person, like, what's her name? America Chavez, who can go to different multiverses, but it's not a time. Well, in certain cases, it's a time thing, but a time thing doesn't mean that there's a completely different person. Maybe if their parents were different, they'd be a different person. But it was weird to me the way they did it.
And that's
by
because
him.
They keep thinking they're not thinking about the transmedia part of their story. They want it to be connected, but they're making them. I don't know why they have just different people, but you need different people to make each one. But you have to have the supervision first. With Marvel, the way they did it, they set the transmedia up so well that everything is individual, but it's all connected. And then I feel like with the DCEU, they just be doing films. They're like, okay, yeah. You're supposed to be in the same like universe, but you're not making sure everything is connected. Like, all these films look like separate things to me.
Which is fine if that's the way you intend it, but it seems like they just do it after the fact. It feels like they make a decision after the fact. Because like in the YouTube video that you sent me, the Screen Quest run, they're like, yeah, so Shazam, he may or may not be in the multiverse. I mean, in this universe, depending on how the movies do. Right. Batman's not like the what's his name?
Ben Affleck is definitely gone.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Batman, the one that you haven't watched.
Not Chris. What's his name?
The Matt Reeves Batman, but what? Robert Pattinson. The Robert Pattinson Batman. They're like, he's off on his own. So I'm like, that's fine because we know that. But it seems like y'all don't even know who's in this universe versus not in the universe.
Right.
And it's that's a problem.
Yeah.
At least
there's no like singular vision I see. I just see a lot of separate films. And that's
and
the
separate
problem.
Films would be fine if that was your intention. But y'all seem like you're just going after the fact and
they're trying to be transmedia with it, and it's not working. Because again, it's like everybody keeps making one like the Justice. Why are there two different Justice League movies? Oh, I can make it better. Like, no, it's supposed to be singular. You shouldn't have. I would be pissed off if there was two Avenger movies. I would be pissed. I mean, not like Avenger Part 1, 2. You know, but like if there was two Avenger ones, no. Why did make the one and then make a sequel? Not redo the one.
I mean, I'm not upset about that because I didn't get to watch all the way through. But the Zack Snyder one was better than the original.
Was it?
Yeah.
They changed a lot of stuff?
They did. From what I understand, they reshot some parts, and it did actually make it better.
Okay. But it's just weird that you have to put that out there. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we didn't do it right the first time. We're going to redo it. It just doesn't
it was unexpected circumstances. I'll give them a pass for that because Zack Snyder was supposed to do it, but then when his daughter or son, whichever one of them died, so of course he couldn't do it because he was like, mourning and taking care of that. So then they brought in, what's his name? Who's on everybody's shit list right now. But like, so he wasn't supposed to be the original director for that. So, with all of this switching out, it just, things are going to be kind of messy.
I don't know. To me, I'm like, here's my main question. With the Flash film, again, this wasn't like a bad film, but this is my problem with DC. I watched their films besides Wonder Woman and Shazam. I watched their films and I looked and I'm like, this is okay.
Yeah.
I come out of here like that. And I don't, like I said, the only ones that I loved Wonder Woman 2 and I loved Shazam 2. I thought both of those two are working well. Everything else, no. It's not fitting. It's not working. It's not meshing well. I appreciate what they tried to do with the Flash here, but there's just a lot of stuff going on that I was like, this film is not together fully to me. And I feel like this is a film about the Flash, but there was so many other people in here. I feel like at one point this is a Batman thing. This is a Supergirl part. I like Supergirl's part in there, but it's like, is she going to continue on? We have no idea.
We do. I found her name. So the actress who plays Supergirl, her name is Sasha Calle or Calle. But I loved her as Supergirl. I really wish they had give her like a place in the DCU because she was great. So Supergirl and Batman were like bright points for me in this movie.
I just don't know if I want to see another DCU. I wonder if they should just stop. That's my thing.
Well, they're gonna reboot the whole thing, so maybe what's his name?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I want to see anymore. That's what I was bringing that question up about. Are we tired? Like, I don't know.
We're
if I want to see anymore.
tired of subpar stuff, but if someone can do it right, I think people will be fine.
All right.
Because like.
Well, I guess I'm saying I'm not sure I want to see any more like Superman, and I just don't know if I want to see any more of it. I feel like it's been so done too many times. I'm like, why don't we just, like you said, do something different or come out with other? There's a bunch of like Marvel has a bunch of stories and characters. Why don't y'all try to explore some of the other characters then?
Actually, I think that's part of the thing that I don't know why. Why can I not think of Guardians of the Galaxy's director's name?
Mr. Gunn.
Yeah, Tim Gunn. Mm-hmm. So Tim Gunn, now that he's co-CEO.
Tim Gunn is that guy from Project Runway.
James Gunn. Wow.
James Gunn.
Thank you. Oh my God. James Gunn. And I think the other guy who's co-CEO with him is like Peter Safran or something. So now that they're heading up the DCU, which is going to be separate from the DCEU because the DCEU is like now dead. I feel like, this is a chance for them to start over, make it done well. Maybe they'll make it so that there's an overarching vision. Because that's the thing that's good about the Marvel stuff. Like, Kevin Feige. Okay. Kevin Feige, he's the overlord. He's like, okay, there is a vision. And they're going to they'll give you some, give you your leeway, but, have enough points so that it can tie in to the other vision if it's going to be a tie into like an Avengers movie or something. And it doesn't seem like they had like a visionary who was like being like, this is how this is going to tie together.
Right. They didn't.
But now that they've got new heads,
maybe they can save it.
Yeah, it's like new management. You go to a restaurant that's got new management, so it's like, I'll give it a try. It's under new management. Let's give it a try. So that's how I feel. Like, let's give it a try because I really like James Gunn's stuff that he's done. I really liked the Suicide Squad that he did. I really liked Peacemaker. I'm looking forward to the Amanda Waller movie. One, because, it was a James Gunn think tank thing. And two, because Viola Davis, say no more. But I've got high hopes. I've got high hopes.
I don't know. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just like,
I do. One more thing I wanted to point out. Did it say? I know we talked about when we were coming out of the theater where it seemed like Barry had like no chemistry with the Iris in the movie.
Yes.
But I felt like he had more chemistry with Supergirl. Like when she was like, I felt kind of almost like some chemistry there. Like he had the like empathy that he didn't know her, but he was going to save her anyway, even though she wasn't like, she was like, why did you save me when I wasn't Cal? So I felt like there was more chemistry there.
I agree.
I saw something there, but I'm like, I saw nothing.
Like Ezra Miller's portrayal of Barry, to me, I was like, y'all were trying to do a little romance there, but it was not hitting. And it was like, there was no charm to the Barry that there normally is. Even though he's like a talkative, kind of smart, not kind of really smart person. He has his little quirks, but he's super charming and super good and wholesome. And I wasn't really getting that with this Barry. So, and I'm just talking about the characterization of Barry. I always see Barry as I guess Captain America is kind of like the Superman of their group. Superman's supposed to be kind of like Captain America with the whole moral fiber thing, but Barry also has some of that too. And I wasn't really getting that. And so that charm that comes out that I was hoping to see when I was like, oh, this is Iris, let's see. It just, the whole scenes fell like, They felt really forced. They didn't feel like they needed to be there at all. To me, that was like the thing. And I like the black girl, actually. I did like her. But I just like the scenes.
There was no chemistry.
I was like, why was this in here?
I
don't see it.
I see Barry with Kara based on this movie more so than Iris.
I can see the chemistry a lot better. So I don't know. There's a lot that I just feel like they just need to redo with this film. There's a lot in there. There were some funny points, of course. There were some parts, and like I said, it's a watch. You could watch it, but there was a lot that really I didn't like, more so than liked for me.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really trying to come with all my prejudices about the film. I was like, let me see it and see. But there was a lot more to me that I was like, nah, they should have done this different. Than like, oh, this was really great. But there were great parts. I don't want to like not say that. There were some like really like I said, Ezra's portrayal of doing the both. I thought it was great.
Yeah, that was great. Showed how great of an actor they are.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's hard to determine if it's the acting or if it was the directing or if it was just.
It's hard to determine for me too.
Yeah.
Something about the film, I just was like.
It's just it seems like a very out of character Barry.
Yes, thank you. It seems like an out of character Barry, and but I have always been, even before Ezra Miller's issues came out, I had always thought that this was a miscast person. I was like, I saw it and I was like, this person should not be playing Barry. Not that he can't, but it's just nothing is not fitting right. Even as I watched it, and I remember I saw it in Justice League, not saying he didn't do the funny... not saying that Ezra didn't do it right, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not really buying it here, even in Justice League. I wasn't buying it then, and then I was like, okay, let's see the whole movie, and I'm still not sold that Ezra was the best person to play him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it worked.
Sort of, yeah, something just...
The vibe was not right. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
Ezra is a good actor.
Yeah.
He is. That's one thing I have to credit him. Very good actor. Emotional. He's very good at doing emotional scenes, too.
Yeah.
That's not the issue, but something is off. I just think it was miscast, personally. Anyway.
I initially thought the casting was good. And like I said, like we talked about, it's just, like you said, the vibe is off, though. The vibe is off.
Yeah.
And it could be...
Mr. Some Italian actor, I forget his name. Well, I don't think he's an Italian actor. The director, I can't pronounce his name. I knew it's not Italian. Not Buscemi.
I knew it was like, it's Andrew something. Andy Muschietti.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate what he was trying to do. You know, but I'm going to just rate it. It's a 6 glasses for me.
I'd give it 7.
I'm going to give it 6 glasses.
And the 7 is really because of pretty much everything outside of the Flash himself. Like the character of the Flash, which... It's kind of the sad part. Though Ezra Miller's performance was very good portraying both of them. But as far as the bright spots for me, the bright spots were the spots outside of the Flash was the character.
I think the Batman was my favorite part. And seeing Kara kick ass.
Yeah.
Those parts were my favorite parts, actually.
Same for me. Those were my favorite parts. So it's like, the bright spots weren't actually the main character.
I really disliked the baby shower.
I
don't know. And I really disliked the ending mix-up thing, that scene. Something about that scene was unraveling to me. Like, I don't know if it was just the CGI, but it's something about that ending. I was like out of it. I was like, something threw me out of the film where I was just like, what the F is going on here?
Maybe it was the CGI.
Maybe it was. Yeah. But anyway, so that's our review of The Flash. You guys go watch it. And I mean, if you want to watch it, if you want to review it, tell us what you think. You know,
let us know.
Let us know what you guys think. If you really loved it and you think what we're saying is trash, hey.
And it's really hard for us to pin down the Ezra Miller thing, if it's like an acting thing, if it's a directing thing as far as the portrayal of Barry Allen. Yeah. Let us know. What do you think it is? Or do you think that Ezra Miller is a great Flash? Let us know. Really interested to hear other people's take.
Me too. I've been listening to some other videos and everything, and I'm like, I'm surprised at how much mixed reviews I'm getting. It's very mixed. People either really liked it or they liked certain parts of it. It's weird. It's like some people like certain parts and then other parts they didn't like. So it's like, you have very, like, it's not polarizing, but you're very like staunch. Like I didn't like this, but I like this, and then that person will be like, oh, I hated that, but I liked that. So yeah, it's whatever.
Mixed bag.
Mixed bag. All right, y'all. With this Midland DCU film, I don't know what will be the future. DCEU.
Yeah.
Right? Excuse me. I don't know what the future of the DCEU will be, but we'll just have to wait and see. Is it going to be called something else now?
It's going to be the DCU.
DCU. Okay.
Yeah.
So
the
now,
DCEU is dead.
Let's see if the DC. What does the E part stand for?
DC Extended Universe.
Let's get rid of that. All right.
So now, yeah, they are. It's just going to be the DCU.
That's much better. Let's hope that they do better by that then.
Yeah, let's hope.
Right.
Because like I said, I've got high hopes because have you seen Peacemaker or The Suicide Squad?
No.
You should watch those because those which were done by James Gunn, I really enjoyed. So based on that, I think that maybe he'll take it in a good direction.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, that is our review. You guys know what to do. Message us. You'll hear some stuff at the end of this podcast episode. And as always, everybody, blerd out. Enjoy your summer. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Please subscribe to our show on whatever podcast listening app you use and share the show with other blurs and non-blurs family and friends. And if you like this episode, please subscribe to our email newsletter at blerdtalkbw.ck.page and also rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts.
Intro and outro music is Twilight by Caption. You can find them on SoundCloud, username Caption spelled CAPSHUN. Show notes by Bola, Hanson, audio engineering by Whitney Booker.
And don't forget to get social, you guys. You can email us at blerdtalkbw@gmail.com. And our social media handles on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is at BlerdTalkBW. And our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@BlerdTalkBW. And we've got our individual things going on too. You can find the Triple F Queen on Instagram at Triple F Queen B as in boy. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/@Triple F Queen B.
And you can find me, Whitney, at Luminabi Studios, my company, and the email address is wit@luminabi.com, spelled WHIT @LUMENABI.com. And you can also find me on Twitter at Luminabi Studios.